public lobby, was it? One day you'll believe me.
One day. When you got one.
Yeah.
Sugo circuit. Michael 975 in the hashtag 81 hashtag Mark. Hashtag 2 Ford. Josh. Hashtag Martin. Current confirmed drivers at the moment. So the extended entry list. There may be. So we got Warrior Wasp, Black Wildcats, and D1
So if you remember, I told you that I was away and didn't have a PlayStation. Right there,
and we'll see how the points will be earned in this race. Being a feature race, it's half points compared to the endurance race, excluding the qualifying points in the fastest lap. So from first all the way down to 16th, it's 20 points to first, 5 points for 16th. So every position you go down, you lose a point. Fastest lap, you get 1 point in the race. And in qualifying, the top 3 positions will earn themselves some bonus points. First with the 6 points, second with 4, and third with 2 points.
Why is everyone reading up? We don't want the lobby to start because it'll fucking end up with us.
So we'll go to the main scene now. See the current grid. We should have a lot more than this. Unfortunately, we had a few pull out. Late notice. Hopefully we can get a few more. I'll send out last minute invites so they can join in session. Bear with me here.
And you go into this enormous compression, and the car behaves quite oddly because it fires into this wall of tarmac. It resists, so you end up actually using quite a lot of steering force, and then it goes the opposite to a point as you go over that crest where everything lightens up. It's
a couple I don't have one of my friends with Steve. So I'll just kick it off now. So we got 6 people before we get at least 9ish. See how we go. The rest of the guys can just join mid-session.
Oh, here we go.
Their loss.
Starts exactly 7 o'clock.
Meadows not mucking about.
I tell you what, it's a far cry from the 13 that have said yes. There's only 6.
Yeah. That's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So we look at the track stats. 9 turns, 3.9 kilometers. Conditions, weather conditions are overcast.
Pointy,
Couldn't use the live weather because
we've
it
lost
was snowing, so
in our group have gone straight to wide racing.
We had to make an alternative arrangement.
Yeah, no. Well, you got to spend money to race a car around the track.
Hello everyone. Hello, I got absolutely rammed as exiting the other lobby by some other cunt in the fucking GT.
Alright, so who's going to be first to blink
I'm
in
not
this
really familiar with
qualifying
this
session?
game, so...
All
use
good,
that.
mate. All
excuse.
good.
No excuse.
Just
Try
enjoy it, man. Have some fun.
I'll have more than fun. You'll fucking make us look stupid.
Yeah,
Oh
well.
no, the people are quicker than me in the other one. I'm not
Yeah,
expecting
but they're not in
much.
this lobby, mate.
Yeah, but people are quicker than me. I don't like that.
I'm sure BP's quick, but first to jump is Morningstar
I've been
Mike.
here for a
Will
little
go on
bit.
board for his warm-up lap. So Exo's also coming out of the
Oh,
pits.
fuck
Ty Morgo,
I was over
one of
the
our
line.
newcomers, also out of the pits, and I think he's in front of Morningstar Mike at this stage. So he'll be the first one to crack a lap, and
Is
we've
it
already
pinging
got a
it,
one-place grid penalty for angry old fella.
Press my pit
Pit
limit. I
lane
thought I was over the
violation.
line, but
That would
clearly
have been
Oh.
speeding in pit lane. It's unfortunate for
Oh,
him
man.
because the bonus points in
alright.
qualifying could make or
Just
break
means I'll start from
someone's
second
championship.
instead
So
of first.
he's got to try
Love
get
it.
pole, obviously, to maintain some of those points to at least get 4. So not a good start for Angry. You go trackside.
Whoa.
So Ty Morgo going for his first lap, qualifying lap in the Sunday series on debut today. Hopefully we get a few more. So he's really got it pulled up at the first and second corner. It's a very hard double apex corner. Some people say it's a 2 corner. I normally say it's like 1 corner, but he's been that lap at the chicane. Took a bit too much curb on exit, and that has just binned his lap. So we'll go on board with Morningstar Mike, and as we go to him, he's also binned his lap and went wide. So let's see if we can get changing fortunes with Exo here. Bit wide at turn 4. He still gets it pulled up. Bit of awesome through the chicane there. Could have went a bit harder, but slow and steady wins the race at this stage. Don't want to push it too early on. Now he's going down the back straight. Oh, he might get a slowdown penalty there. He had 2 wheels on the grass, and that is total commitment from Exo. Scrolling down through the gears, getting it pulled up at the hairpin. Now in the last sector, Morningstar Mike on top with a 1:18.2, Ty Morgo with a 1:19.4, 1.1 seconds off the pace for Ty Morgo. Needs to produce a better lap than that. See what Exo's got for us here. And in the meantime, Angry has gone top with a 1:17.8, and Exo seemed to be a good lap earlier on. I may have picked him up after a mistake, so we'll go on board with Angry because he's gonna need these positions. At the moment, he currently sits P2 with that 1 grid penalty. He's went wide. Seems as though he's cooked his tyres. It's accelerated tyre wear, so I reckon in qualifying you'd have at least 2 decent laps out of the tyres, and I think that will be it in terms of fast pace with those. BP also on the board with a 1:18.6. We'll go on board with BP, who's another debutant in this league, as well as Mike, who currently hasn't recorded a lap yet, but as I spoke about that, he's recorded a 1:22.2. We'll go back on board with BP. We'll go chase view. See how he takes his apexes. Oh, a bit wide. Set himself into the grass, and that will be a lap bin right there. He's going into the pits. Hop on board with Morningstar Mike, who's looking to improve on that 1:18.2. He's trying to push Angry off what is provisional pole at this stage. A lot of curb from Morningstar Mike, bit unusual. Now this long hairpin is really going to shred the tyres tonight, so hopefully the guys have a good car set up that will see their tyres last to the end, because there is no mandatory pit stop either in the feature races. So just trying to get a variation in strategies here, see if any driver will risk it and stay out on the same set of tyres for the whole race, or will we see a pit stop from any of them. So got a variation there. If you pit in, you're going to have good tyres to the end. Obviously that's what everyone will want to be on without having to make that pit stop, but tyres don't last forever. We'll keep that in mind. So on board with Ty Morgo here. 3 tenths off the pace of Angry. So at the moment, Angry on pole, but with that grid place penalty, he's currently second, and Ty Morgo P1. Morningstar Mike in P3, Mike in P4, BP P5, EXO P6. And we should have had at least friggin' 12 people according to the Facebook event. Now let's see what this does for Ty Morgo. No improvement. So we'll go on board with Mike, who's about to finish a lap. No improve. Oh, he's improved. 1:17.8. And he's 4 100ths behind Angry. And currently, Mike is in P1 provisionally. So we'll see what changes to the grid happen in the time ticking down. So we still got 12 minutes 30 seconds left in this qualifying session.
1 grid place penalty.
BP,
Don't start.
no improvement, but we'll stay on board. I reckon it would have been an outlap there, but he's really wrestling the Ford GT around this circuit. Full commitment at every braking zone, trying to brake as late as possible. Bit of the curbs at the chicane, and so either Mike or EXO on one of those cars up ahead. So you might have to get out of the way on the straight here. He does. Gives BP an easy opportunity to keep that time up. At the moment, it looks like a good lap. A bit wide at the hairpin. But there's a few choosing to take that line. Must be a lot more grip out there.
Why aren't you this quick in the F1 series?
I told you, I can't sit a car up. It's shit.
BP really trying to engine brake around this long hairpin. Seems like it goes forever. We'll see where this puts him, because it is a good lap. Puts him P1 with a 1:17.3, and he's blitzed the field by 5 tenths. Angry P2, which will relegate him back into P3 because of that grid place penalty. So Mike P2, Angry P3, Ty Morgo P4, Morningstar Mike P5, EXO P6. So we'll start to see at the end of the session these times getting quicker and quicker with the track evolution to come to them with the more grip towards the end. So I would expect to see a high 16 if someone's committed to doing it.
Oh, you bitch. No, not on the last corner. Fuck you.
So, we're on board with Angry.
Accidentally got in your way on that lap, man.
He needs to find 5 temps here, and it seems as though that lap is binned. Oh! That was very close from Angry and Mike. Mike having to make evasive action. Ty Morgo on the pits. Morningstar Mike about to finish a hot lap, I would assume.
Fucking brakes and I've been doing that.
Yeah, what have you got your brake pressure
Morningstar Mike upper position in the P4 with a 118 flat, and he is relegated Ty Morgo down the P5. So Ty Morgo's still in the pits, maybe making some setup changes here. So he's going to look to make a late charge in this session. We're on board with Exo now.
Oh, yes, I will.
Braking really deep in the turn 1, turn 2, bit wide. But setting himself up good for turn 3.
Alright.
Pay attention to that darker area, because that is usually the braking zone at those sort of corners. Taking a lot of the first and second corner of the chicane, and he's overshot it there. Car not looking good over the curbs. You really need to get him working. I doubt we're going to see any more.
Otherwise, you won't finish the race.
I have a separate race set up.
Competitors tonight, unfortunately.
I hope this
Get a bit of false hope with the Facebook event, as I mentioned earlier, but there's a few drivers that have reasonable excuses. So hopefully we can get them back next week.
Familiar in it.
So we're on board with Angry here. It needs to find 5 attempts to pick BP off of what is pole, but that will still relegate him back to P2. So at the moment, Angry will get 2 points.
Oh yeah, the tyre pressures are down to like 1.37 or some shit on the front.
So Angry was on an out lap there, and Mike is on a hot lap. It's about come over the control line. We'll see what sort of time this is. It needs to find 5.5 attempts to get BP off pole position here. It's very close between 2nd to 5th here. Only covered by 3 attempts, and Mike puts himself up in the P2 with a 117.5. But that is not enough for pole. So at the moment, Angry will receive no points in qualifying. Sits P3, he must find 3 attempts to get at least 2 points. So BP with the 6 points, Mike with the 4, and Morningstar Mike with the 2 as it stands. Just keep in mind, we've still got 7 minutes in this session. Oh, Morningstar Mike has jumped up in the P1 with a 117.2, and he has relegated BP down to 2nd by 6/100ths. What has BP got in retaliation to that time? Because it's a bit unexpected earlier on in this qualifying session. Only a bit over halfway. I wouldn't think there was enough grip to at least challenge for that yet. Might be mistaken, but Angry back up in the P3 with 117.3, and it's almost equal BP's time. So he is on his A game right now.
Please don't invalidate me.
So Morningstar Mike is on a roll, and Mike with a 117.2, losing out by 2.5 100ths of a second. That is so close. The top 4 drivers covered by only 1 tenth.
And it's Ford, Corvette.
So a bit of a...
And that is the weakness of my quality setup.
Bit of a Ford domination right now. Ford 1, 2, 3. Chevy 4. Ferrari 5. And Ford back in 6. So Exo's got to find some pace later on in this session if he's to challenge the top 5 guys here. So even though we're probably depleted on drivers tonight, it's still going to be an entertaining race with the top 4 separated by that much. And Morningstar Mike, a bit too much commitment on the throttle. We're on board with BP. Awesome exit onto the back straight, and Mike's still going on with this lap here, but he will have to get out of BP's way. BP trying to trying to
Last sector.
get that extra 10th. So can he get it on this lap? Two wheels on the grass. Is that going to invalidate his lap? If not, that is total commitment, using every bit of the track as possible, even the grass. Looks like BP's trying to get a little bit of a slipstream from Morningstar Mike. Is it enough? It is not, and he is equaled with Mike, both on a 1:17.286. But because Mike got that time first, he currently sits P2. So we'll go on board, see if this is a hot lap from Angry. 1/10 behind, doesn't improve. Time will go back in the pits, needs to find 8.5 tenths to get in the mix. Exo on a hot lap here, going a bit wide in the first corner, second corner. If he fixes that first two corners up, he could get the time that he needs. Probably need a bit more commitment through the chicane, but I reckon it will be an improvement at this stage earlier on in the lap.
Oh, I'm on my roof.
What? I heard someone was on their roof. I think it was Mike.
Oh.
Someone.
What? Okay.
Alright, so what I'm gonna have to do, I think there's still 3 minutes 50 something seconds left.
Nick's the inside of the pitfall on the around. Qualified going the wrong way.
Ah,
Oh,
got
what?
disqualified. BP got disqualified, so that I think that puts him at the back of the grid. Maybe, because the positions still say the same. Morningstar Mike in P1, Mike in P2, Angry P4, Ty Morgo P5, XO P6.
That's alright, I just got another.
So we'll go on board with the Pulse, the
One
provisional
place.
Pulse hitter. Bin that lap, we'll go on board with Mike.
That means I lost 2 tenths on their first sector and quarter.
Really using the engine to its full potential here, Mike. But is that going to cause dramas later on in the lap? Will his engine start to overheat? Although it's only qualifying, got to make sure you don't use your engine like that in the race. So Mike with a bin lap. Looks like Angry's on an out lap here, I reckon. Starting to get up the speed in the last sector. And who's that ahead? I reckon it's XO or Mike. XO exceeding track limits, so we have a massive moment there from XO. Lucky it isn't the race, because that would have been race done for him. So Angry on a hot lap here. We'll get on board with Mike.
Oh!
Just, oh,
Who the
Mike doing the same thing as EXO. There must be
Exo's just had a massive lose.
there must be something on the track.
Oh no!
There must be something on the track, or there's no grip. Angry really attacking the chicane.
No, that's me out of quali. I could have got pole then. I
Oh,
broke the suspension when I hit them.
so at the moment, only Angry can improve his placing. So
On the 17.
Angry with a lot of authority later on in this qualifying session. We've got 30 seconds to go.
I'm quicker than that.
None of the other drivers can put up any quicker lap times. So my prediction of a high 16 down the drain. So Angry might also be able to get another lap in.
Game was too slow popping.
Maybe. 10 seconds to go. Alright, no, that's it. Is it? It's still going. That's it. Completed. So obviously
Well,
Mike with an outlap, he
Mike.
lost out earlier on. He apparently got a challenge for pole. But look at his car all bangled up. Obviously that's on the game's end. He's actually got a perfect car. But Morningstar Mike, tipping Mike by 2.5 100ths of a second. It can't get any closer than this. So, I better take a screenshot.
Oh no, we're
Took a screenshot
your
of the
points,
results
0,
here.
1,
So,
2 off.
Morningstar Mike,
I told you the first
117.2, pole
best
position for
run through.
him. An
The
awesome
first
start
sector, you're
here.
2 tenths off me.
Now I better mute the
You're
guys
2 tenths
so we
past.
can. Oh, silly me. Alright, so we got Morningstar Mike with a 117.2. Closely followed by Mike with a 117.2. And BP with the same time as Mike. Angry with a 117.3. So the top four separated by 1/10. Ty Morgo with an 118.1. Needs to find a bit of pace in the race. As well as EXO with a 120.6. So we are going trackside for the start of the race. So who are we missing here? I think we need a restart. What's happened to BP? I think we might have to restart the lobby here. Apparently the race is going on, so I'm not sure what's happened here. I'm going to have to exit this, unfortunately. I don't know if this is happening on their end. It's been unfortunate at this stage. Quite frustrated. I might have to restart it, as in the race, but I add an extra minute, so for a formation lap, so the guys can get into positions. I can't even do that, so we're just gonna have to go with 45 minutes, and that formation lap will count. Yeah, I'm going to be restarting the lobby. BP. We'll get this underway. So, the guys should know their positions. So we still got the results from qualifying valid.
He can manually choose start in grid A.
Yeah, I think he can.
I'll have to notify Mike. Nah, we have to grid up via formation lap. Just bear with me here.
Hello, everybody.
Konnichiwa.
Hey.
So we had BP made a rookie mistake.
Well, I'll invite a couple others as well, see if we can get it on.
You know that tricky one? Return to Race Central.
Sounds like the right thing to do.
Apologies for that, I'm not familiar with this game, I thought it was just X to continue.
Do we know if Blake's setting up the grid?
You set grid up by formation lap.
Oh, okay, cool. So I think I'm last, aren't I?
Second.
No, that would. Yeah, I'm fifth.
So Morningstar's first, I'm second.
And I'm third.
Then
EP
BP,
was third.
then it'll be Mornings.
No, I got a screenshot here.
Yeah, and EXO then me, because I've got 2 places.
Alright, so we've got...
Well, actually, technically BP should
Here
be
you
last,
go.
because he got disqualified.
So it's Morningstar on pole, I'm second, BP third, Angry Old Fella fourth, Time Morgo fifth, and Exorcist sixth. However, BP will drop to Angry Old Fella will drop to last.
That's
Should
right.
be in
He
for
was 2
quite an
places
entertaining
behind
race
BP,
tonight.
it was a bit premature with
Hopefully we don't have technical difficulties this time around.
Get excited. Oh, it's qualifying again.
Oh no!
Hey?
Oh,
Quality again.
Is that going to be an issue?
yes, it is. Oh, silly me. Sorry for the rookie hosting mistake as well. Ugh. So I'm going to take quali off, because that is in the books. So I'll invite our 6 participants, because it'd be pretty unfair for any new guys to hop in, because I don't know how to decide the grid off of that if we have a couple more come in. All going wrong tonight, unfortunately, so hopefully we can have a better session here.
How long have you got?
So we're waiting on... Who are we waiting on? Angry. No, I'm pretty sure I sent him an invite. Where is Angry? So we got 45 minutes of racing. About 1 minute 30 of that will be cut off due to the formation lap. So all the drivers are in. We'll get this underway for the third time. Third time lucky is what they say. So fingers crossed. It's all good.
Hey boys, I've got a bird in the room that likes to whistle a bit, so I might just turn me mic off while we race. Everyone's cool with that? Yes.
Now, unfortunately, I can't mute either, I don't think, so... And I'm stuck in this race director mode. I can only do it in between sessions, so I'm gonna make with what we got. So obviously this isn't the grid order as you see. So we'll have Morningstar Mike on pole, Mike in second, BP third, I think Ty Morgo in 4th, XL in 5th, and Angry in 6th due to that 2 grid slot penalty.
Don't forget to load your pit strategies, boys.
So just going through the grid here. So see BP in the number 66, Janassi for GT. Angry in the number 82 Chevy. Ty Morgo in the number 68 Ferrari. Mike, the teammate of BP in the 67 Janassi GT Ford. EXO in the hashtag 2 Ford. And Morningstar Mike in the number 7 Ford. So this grid at this stage is dominated by Fords. We're meant to have a couple more Chevys on the grid tonight, and we're also meant to have a variation of Aston Martins and I think another Ferrari. So, and a Porsche in Scraffy, who's driving the number 91. He should be with us next week, and hopefully a few more of the guys are here next week as well for the second round of the series. I'll start scouting people from elsewhere. Now I've got this issue going on again. So unfortunately, this is not working for me.
5 seconds, boys.
5 seconds. Alright, so Mike just got disqualified, but Hawks wants to race here, so I'm gonna have to we should have a couple more guys coming in now. Don't know what's going on here. I just need to get this all done. It's what usually happens, like, you know, once we get back on project cars. It's all alien at the moment with all the different sims that are played in this group. So now Hawks said he wanted to join. I'll invite Hawks. Hawks will start P7 and Carmichael will start P8. So Carmichael had connection issues, so hopefully, fingers crossed, he can join. Hopefully all the guys start joining. It's a bit unnatural for all this to happen. So hopefully this time we can get a proper start. I'll tell Hawks he's starting P7. And I'll send a message to Carmichael as well, notifying his grid spot.
Need to work these positions.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on then.
Yeah, I thought we were doing a rolling start.
Alright, so I've notified the guys of their grid positions. So we'll get this underway for the 4th time. So we'll go back to the track stats. 9 corners, 3.9 kilometres. Looks like quite a simple track, but the tyre deck, specifically on the front left, it's quite severe. Even though there's no mandatory pit stop requirement, I would see a variation in strategy. Some guys might go hard, some might go softs to make a pit stop, and hopefully have a quick car at the end to overtake the alternate strategy guys. So we'll see what this 45 minutes of feature racing will produce for us. 2 additions to the grid in Hawks and Carmichael. So they will have to do a formation lap, grid up via that way. Saves us having to do a 10-minute session. So we got Carmichael and the number 80 Aston Martin. So we've got a different manufacturer than a Ford. And we'll see what Hawks is in. He's in a Chevy as well. So we got 2 Chevys, 4 Fords, 1 Ferrari, 1 Aston Martin. So 4 different manufacturers. The top 3, if I recall correctly, the top 3 are all Fords. And then in P4 we have the Ferrari of Ty Morgo, the Ford of Exo in P5, the Chevy of Angry in P6, Chevy of Hawks in P7, and the Aston Martin of Carmichael in P8. So we have got 40 seconds until kickoff here. Fingers crossed we have got everything right this time. So guys will be making final changes to their setups. Not sure about Carmichael and Hawks here. It's going to be quite new to them. They're not going to be up to speed, but they're going to have to find it quick. So we are syncing. Now just keep in mind, this isn't lights out for the guys. So we'll have Morningstar Mike going up in the P1 on the formation. Hopefully everyone's calm here. We don't want to see carnage on the formation. So top 2, as you see on the screen, Morningstar Mike and Mike, P1 and 2 respectively. Carmichael should drop back to P8, and he will do so soon. Getting out the way here with BP to get into his grid slot. Ty Morgo, P4. Angry, but it seems P5. So it should be P6, I reckon. Exo slowly getting into his grid position here. So he'll have to pass Hawks, and they all have to speed up, or Morningstar Mike's going to have to slow down. Either way. So don't pay attention to those grid changes there if you're just tuning in. This is our formation lap due to technical difficulties. Otherwise we'll be having a standing start. The 2 teammates in the Genasi cars, BP and Mike, keeping those tyres warm. Now the grid is set. Morningstar Mike gets to choose which side. If not, they can go single file. Either way, doesn't matter. So Mike will get the choose. Morningstar Mike will get the choose when the jump here. Lights on. And they are off. So Mike trying to get the better of everyone. It's like a start on the safety car. You try to fake your start and get a bit of a gain there. So at turn 1, we got Morningstar Mike. Mike poking it down the inside, but no room. Oh, bit of a slide from Morningstar Mike. Leaves him vulnerable to Mike here. BP also on the tail of Mike. And Ty Morgo P4 a little further back. So we'll get this into chase view. And we'll go further back in the grid on board with Hawks, who's a bit further back from Angry. So does Angry have a good picture of this? He does. So we're on board with Angry. Look in the front pack, do their thing. As we know, top 4 in quali, separated by 1/10. Bit of a lock up from Ty Morgo. Angry trying to gain some ground on these guys. And we've got a grid change here. Hawks. Something's happened to Hawks. Something happened at the hairpin. So Carmichael P7, XOP7 rather, Carmichael P6. Back on board with Angry, overlooking the back of this pack. Ty Morgo seems to have a better view of this. So lap 1, reasonably clean, well, definitely from the front guys. We've got a question mark on what happened to Hawks. Mike out wide, letting BP through. So BP and Mike, as a result of Mike going wide, it's created quite a battle between the teammates. So Ty Morgo trying to make the most of this, trying to send it down the inside of BP. Couldn't make it happen. Guys suffering from a bit of understeer earlier on in this race. So track evolution is going to have to play its role. But then they also have to conserve tyres if they're not to make a pit stop. So we should see Hawks make a charge back to the front of the field, hopefully. It's 15 seconds adrift from Morningstar Mike, who's in P1. So he's following Carmichael very closely here. Exo keeping it consistent in P6. Angry really catching the back of this pack now. So we'll see what happens. And it seems as though Morningstar Mike has got a blistering lead already, so that could diminish with a mistake, but at the moment, very consistent from Morningstar Mike. So we've got Ford 1, 2, 3. The solitary Ferrari of Ty Morgo in P4. Really trying to catch this pack of Fords. We've got Chevy of Angry following Ty Morgo closely as well. So we've got a tight battle from P1 to P5. Keep in mind it is a 45-minute race, so plenty of time to get that time back. The two Genasi cars of BP and Mike looking to gain that time back on Mike. Mike losing a bit of time here at the hairpin. He lost 7/10 just in that hairpin, so must have lost grip or he's had a slowdown because BP is right on his tail. Not going to make the move at turn 1. Would set him up at turn 2, but the most likely opportunity is turn 4 here. Gonna have to hold station here. So BP looking to see where Morningstar Mike is weak and where his strengths are. So he's going to evaluate where he should make the move. Got to keep in mind there's a duty of care when we overtake as well. So got to make sure that it goes smoothly on both parties. BP right on the back of Morningstar Mike here. A little further back is Mike. About 1 second behind it. Oh! I think Ty Morgo got a little checked up there. I'm not sure unless Ty Morgo had a bit too much speed. He looks like he's redressing. Very good sportsmanship there. But Angry, I thought he was going to chew this opportunity up, but he lost the rear at turn 9 hairpin. And BP lost a bit of time to Mike, so Morningstar Mike. So Morningstar Mike has got awesome pace, but he's got to keep the car straight if he is to win the opening round. But with someone like BP on your tail, a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake there from BP. Opens the opportunity for Angry to slot himself up in the P2. But now it looks like Morningstar Mike is in a league of his own with a 3-second lead. So the current battle pack we got right now is between BP and Angry. And the next battle pack, Mike and Ty Morgo. XO and P4 with a 6-second advantage over Carmichael. And Hawk seems to be struggling in the Chevy. 30 seconds adrift from the lead. But we know if he can start get the groove of this track, we know he's quick. He'll be able to punch out some good lap times and hopefully salvage a good result. BP is really charging now. Can't heat up the rear tyres though. I think that's what was the cause of that spin at turn 4. Been a 45-minute race. You've got to play it easy in the early stages and then start to sprint it up a little in the later stages. For the guys who pit in this race, not mandatory, but if the guys that pit in are thereabouts later on this race, they're going to have some good pace behind them. So Morningstar Mike starting to lock up, I reckon, and it looks like he's got to slow down. BP is now the leader. And this invites Angry back into the equation here. Shocking qualifying from him, not in terms of lap time, but in terms of grid slot penalties. 2 grid slot penalty he had. He was originally P4. Still no points in qualifying, but he's looking for a big haul of points in the race here. Currently, P3 will earn him 18 points, with P1 getting 20, P2 getting 19. So if you were here earlier, you would have seen the point structure for the feature races, and there's also an extra point for fastest lap. So very close between the top 3, separated by 2 seconds. Mike a bit further down in P4. Ty Morgo keeping it clean in P5. Hawks up in the P6. He's come from P8 here. XO in for a pit stop. This car looks a bit out of shape. I'd be quite surprised if the roll cage is intact there. Carmichael in the pits. He's 38 seconds adrift. One of our drivers that didn't join us for qualifying, so he's going to have to get up to speed pretty quick. Only got 35 minutes left in the race, so he's going to have to find the speed somewhere. So we'll go back to our leaders. Morningstar Mike on the tail of BP. Now we know BP is very quick in the Formula 1s 2019. But it seems to be a bit alien for BP. Project cars, I mean. But we know he adapts pretty quick. He's very quick as well. Angry trying to hold on to it. Still keeping it clean back in P3. Mike in P4. Almost 7 seconds adrift of the lead. But obviously not where he wants to see himself. He wants to be further up in the grid, fighting for a podium. So him and BP, the Genasi teammates, trying to get a double podium. I'm sure that it can definitely still happen. Ty Morgo, another debutant. So the debutants today, we got BP, we got Mike, we got Ty Morgo, we got Hawks, we got Carmichael. So 5 new guys. We're meant to have a few more tonight, but we've had a few pull out. So hopefully we have a more healthy grid size next week. But don't be put off by that, because this is going to be close racing towards the end. We got some experience, especially with a couple of the F1 guys joining us tonight, in BP, Mike and Hawks. All quick individuals, all championship contenders in the F1s. So, see what happens. And Morningstar Mike on the tail of BP here. We got a bit of lap traffic from Carmichael. So, Morningstar Mike trying to make the most of this opportunity of lap traffic. Pretty sure Carmichael is going to get out of the way on the back straight. And he does. He's out of the way. Doesn't have to get fully out of the throttle. Just has to let them pass with ease. Angry will not be able to get past Carmichael. Back straight. And Morningstar Mike very deep on the brakes. He's showing his car in the mirrors of BP. There's a lot of pressure. If you're BP, you will be shitting yourself right now. Got Morningstar Mike all over you. This is not gonna end anytime soon, this battle. Just have a quick look at the grid here. We got Angry pitting in. He's pitting in. Must be on the soft strategy. Morningstar Mike trying to make a move, but looks to be evaluating where he should make that move. Bit of a lock up from Mike as he's very deep on the brakes. BP looking, he's looking a bit out of touch. The Genasi Ford GT must be suffering with tyre degradation here, because we are 15 minutes in, and with accelerated tyre wear, those tyres will go very quick. So they're going to have to take care of their tyres severely if they're not to make a pit stop. And Morningstar Mike all over the back of BP here. This isn't even the later stages of the race, and we're seeing battles like this. Someone else pitted in. It was Carmichael, rather. So Angry stayed out. Correction on that one. Got Mike in P4. Got Ty Morgo P5. Hawks in P6. Still getting up the speed, but seems to be gaining it pretty quick. I would see Hawks making no stop here. And Exo with no rear wing, so he's going to have to pit in. No error on this track is quite severe for the lap times. So we're back at the front with the BP Morningstar Mike battle pack. Throat's a bit sore from calling this one. Very close racing. So BP taking a wider approach, whereas Morningstar Mike taking a more narrow approach earlier on. That's why we see BP get a better exit. Got a lot more grip on exit. That's what you want to try produce with the tyres the way they are. So Morningstar Mike doesn't have to push. He just needs to stay behind BP. To stay in touch. You shouldn't be making moves right now, unless the move is there to be taken. You don't want to risk your opportunity of getting on the top step of the podium earlier on. Angry's catching up to this pack. So the longer the two guys in front battle, the quicker Angry can catch up, and also Mike, he's 10 seconds adrift, but we know if any of these guys are to pit in, they're going to have a huge advantage in terms of faster lap times for starters. So we're on board with Angry. So he's 4 seconds adrift. Morningstar Mike looking to be hurt from tyre deg. He's 1.3 seconds adrift from BP. And we see Hawks slowly making his way up the field. Just trying to get up the speed. We did see him as bad as P8, but now he's in P6. But I think for Hawks, fastest lap of the race wouldn't hurt either. So any of these guys at the back, they'll have to go for fastest lap of the race to get any bonus points whatsoever. Whereas the guys at the front, they're getting a big haul of points at this stage. Morningstar Mike, him being on pole, he will still have the advantage over BP. BP finished 3rd in qualifying. So there's a 4-point differential there. So currently a 3-point difference between BP and Mike, Morningstar Mike in his favour. And then we got Angry, who'll be on 18 points. So he'll be 6 points adrift. No, 5 points adrift from the championship lead. And Mike, we also got to remember that he got P2 in qualifying, so he's got an extra 4 points to his name on 19 points, currently P3 in the championship. Now Ty Morgo coming out of the pits, looks like he's going on that one-stop strategy. Now Hawks is up to speed here, so Ty Morgo's gonna have to warm those tyres up. Sorry about the connection here, but Ty Morgo with a bit of a mistake at the chicane, because of those cold tyres. Just trying to get up to speed pretty quick because we know Hawks is a quick driver. Current F1 2019 champion, FNL1. We'll see if he can make the move here. He's just holding it back, trying to survive earlier on. So, as we watch this pack, BP's extended his lead to 2.2 seconds. Oh, Hawks! Oh, how did he hold on to that? Awesome driver control from Hawks. Carmichael, one of our lap cars, but he sees himself up in the P7. He was P8 at one stage, but any extra point will count. So, Morningstar Mike looking to be struggling with the tyres. Really just wants to get away from him around every corner. Really careful on the throttle around the long hairpin. It's definitely a sign of what I've just mentioned. BP looking breezy at the front. So BP trying to conserve tyres here too. But because he's got the lead, track position always counts at the end of the day, because when it comes to later on in the race, being a very difficult track to overtake on mostly, he's in the box seat here. So his last lap was a 1:18.8. He is the fastest driver on track at the moment. His closest rival was in the low 19s, and that is from Angry, 1:19.4. So Mike just lost out 1.3 seconds last lap to BP, so must have been a little mistake from Morningstar Mike's behalf. We see Angry slowly cutting into that lead of BP's, but firstly, in his line of sight is Morningstar Mike, who's 5 seconds ahead of Angry. Mike is further 5 seconds behind Angry. So still, we're halfway through the race, so plenty of time for these guys to mix up the podium positions and the minor positions of 4th and 5th. Hawk's still a chance to make top 5, but that's assuming he does not make a pit stop. So I'm not sure whether Hawks is on the hard compound here, but he's actually recording some pretty good race pace lap times. Last lap of 1:19.2. It's only 6 tenths off BP, who I would assume would be on the softs. And he's sitting 2 seconds ahead. Clean air, always a good thing. So we've got Angry and P3 still. And BP with a little mistake, I reckon, because Morningstar Mike chipped into that lead a little. Trying a bit too hard. Had to use the grass and he's lost the rear. Bit of panel damage, but that is fine for Morningstar Mike. He survives. He survived 25 minutes of racing. Still got 20 minutes to go. But that invites Angry back into the mix for a second position. Mike also in the mix as well. Ty Morgo, the leaders of the drivers that have made a pit stop. And we see Hawks 2 seconds back from Ty Morgo, who hasn't made a pit stop, so I doubt we'll see Hawks make a pit stop in this race. So he's going to have a gutsy strategy here to get as many positions as possible. Maybe a fastest lap, because he has recorded a 1:18.5. It's the fastest I've seen so far visually. So BP extending that lead. Morningstar Michael will be suffering severely from the tyre deck, as will BP and Angry and Mike. Those are the 4 guys that haven't pitted in. They don't need a pit in, but if they choose to, they will be on better tyres. Ty Morgo just trying to keep it clean here. He's got to try cut into that deficit that he's got from BP. 46 seconds adrift. He's on newer tyres. In fact, he's on about 17-minute younger tyres than everyone else, if we're comparing to the top 4 guys. But Hawks seems to be catching up to Ty Morgo. And Hawks is on old tyres too. He's got some pace in this Chevy. Really using every bit of the track possible here. It's the only little battle pack we got going on at the moment. Seems to be shaping itself up towards the end of the race. So we should have a couple close battle packs in the last 10 minutes. We'll see if any of the top 4 guys pit in. If not, we'll see if any of them can chip into the lead of BP. And Morningstar Mike with a bit of mistake, because he's lost 2 seconds to BP. Morningstar Mike's last lap was a 1:18, eh? Bit of a sore throat. Hawks right on the tail of Ty Morgo. But last lap, Hawks was 2 seconds slower than Ty Morgo, so we're going into the first hairpin. Ty Morgo trying to get the grip out, as well as Hawks. Hawks trying to keep it off the inside curb. He wants as much grip as possible. The only problem is, when you have grip, you're shredding the tyres a tiny bit more. They're going to heat up a lot more. So you're going to have to try to take care of the tyres as well. It's what they say, when you're attacking another car, you're using your tyres up more than what they are. So we'll see what happens here for Hawks. But Hawks seems to have very good pace in the older tyres. Unless any of the top 4 pit in, I wouldn't think Hawks can make the podium, but if they choose to do so, we could see a podium finish for Hawks. It'll be about a 20-second pit transit, as well as a 20-second tyre change, if that's what they're in for, because why else would they be in the pits? Maybe for damage, but I wouldn't think if it's a bit of panel damage, I wouldn't bother going into the pits. Now, is Hawks going to make a move? Because we are starting to enter the later stages of the race here. 17 minutes to go. This hairpin seems to trick a few of the drivers here, especially with how much accelerator input you can give it after every lap. Because the rear tyres are all but shredded at this stage. We're lucky enough not to have tyre blowouts, because if that was the case, we would see a couple tyre blowouts right now, I reckon. But even locking up the tyres, you can have a bit of uneven wear on all of the 4 tyres. So if you lock the left front or a right front, that's going to be much more worn than the other 3 tyres, so you can technically class that as a flat spot. So the drivers have to be mindful of that, because once there's a lot of heat into the tyres, you seem to not get the car to a stop as quick, so your braking zones are a lot longer than usual. So we're not going to see guys like BP, Morningstar Mike and Hawks push these tyres, because they are on the whole set here. And we've got Mike pitting in. He doesn't have damage, but he looks to be going in for a set of tyres. So he's going to be pretty fast towards the end. Might be going for fastest lap as well. So we'll get right to it. Now, Angry still in P3. Morningstar Mike, he's chipping into that lead of BP's. So BP might be looking to pit in as well. His Genasi teammate of Mike has pitted in. Whether they have the same strategy or not, he's pitting in. Oh no! BP, what happened there? No way. It's unfortunate for BP. Oh, field of view may be a bit out of whack there for BP. That helps out Hawks and Ty Morgo, and they're both battling it out for P4. So BP might have to repair a bit of that damage as well. So we got Angry in P2 now. Morningstar Mike in P1. So by the looks of it, BP's going to have to be quick in the last stint. He's still in the pits, so it must be repairing that damage, because that is going to help out both Ty Morgo and Hawks and his Genasi teammate of Mike. So this is severe scenes for BP. Very long pit time, because now Hawks wouldn't have thought he would be in a chance for a podium 20 minutes ago, but now he is. The question is, will we see either Morningstar Mike and Angry pitting? For Morningstar Mike, it is a possibility, because he's got that 18 seconds buffer to Angry. With Angry, he's going to have to play the cards here. He's going to choose whether or not he's going to pit in, or if he's going to stay out, because he's in quite a hard track position there. Doesn't have much time in comparison with Ty Morgo, who could jump Angry if Angry chooses to pit in, as well as Hawks, because Hawks is on Ty Morgo's tail as well. So 2 debutants, actually 4 debutants from 3rd to 6th, and our 5th, Carmichael in 7th, but 7th for Carmichael is probably as far as he's going to get tonight. He's going to have to go for fastest lap to get more points. Even though it's only an extra point, it will help out. I can assure you that. So, after that incident with fastest lap, he's going to have to get all of it, really. But with guys like Hawks, Morningstar Mike and Angry suffering with tyre deg issues, it could play into his hands if any of those three make a mistake. Even Ty Morgo's in the equation here. He pitted earlier on in the race. His tyres are starting to get pretty old too. So, will Hawks be able to punch his ticket in the P3? We'll find out in the last 12 minutes of this feature race. Morningstar Mike with a healthy 18-second lead. As far as battle packs go, the only one that we're looking at this stage is for the final spot on the podium. Ty Morgan and Hawks really putting on a show here. BP and Morningstar Mike were the earlier favourites, and they put on quite a show earlier on. And Ty Morgan with a bit of a mistake heading into turn 1. So EXO coming out of the pits. And PA is a couple laps down. And Hawks really trying to find a spot to overtake Ty Morgo, because this track is very narrow. Although the grassed areas are pretty wide, you still don't want to end up on the grass because it will send you into a wall. We're on the back straight now. Hawks will be able to get the slipstream. Chevy's quite fast in a straight line. Trying to go deeper under brakes than Ty Morgo. Got a little bit of time. Need to maintain the grip as well. Using every bit of track, these two. Now we're going to see a move from Hawks in the first sector, because it's looking highly likely that that will happen. Chevy, as I mentioned before, good straight line speed. Needs to get in the slipstream of Ty Morgo. Ty Morgo should break the slipstream here. Alright, I'm back. So, Hawks still on the tail of Ty Morgo. As for the lead of the race, Morningstar Mike with a 20-second advantage over Angry. We see Mike trying to punch his way up the list as well. BP and Mike, the two Janassi teammates, both in 5th and 6th, so we expected a better outing from these two. Unfortunate for BP with that contact in pit lane with the tyres. It's a bit harsh for him, but stuff like that happens, unfortunately. For me, it's happened before. BP losing the rear a bit, went a bit wide, but he's got newer tyres. Should be able to get fastest lap of the race, even the Janassi pair. Hawks, I wouldn't say he would be going for fastest lap of the race, but if my times are correct, currently he does have the fastest lap of the race with an 18.2. So he should be in the mix for that extra point. But getting that position off Ty Morgo will make his life a whole lot better as well. Even though it's another extra point, it all counts. Angry. He's trying to keep it on the black stuff. He's trying to keep this second position. He's trying to punch his ticket as a championship contender in this series. We've got notable absentees tonight. Pointy Also unfortunate for Machapo and Birch. Birch has moved to PC. Chapo couldn't make it tonight, but he's pretty quick too. So had a couple quick guys not make it. So hopefully next week we have a healthier grid. But even though we had 8 drivers tonight, it's been some fairly close racing earlier on, and especially in the later stages with Hawks and Ty Morgo. Because this battle is still going here. So Hawks has got 7.5 minutes to make this overtake on Ty Morgo. If not, he's going to have to settle for P4 and hopefully fastest lap of the race. As for fastest lap, BP's only getting high 18s, so nothing to threaten the fastest lap so far. BP with a 19.1 last lap, so his tyres seem to be gone already. Hawks reasonably consistent with the older tyres as well, and he's going to chuck it down the inside. No, he's not. Not deep enough on the brakes because Ty Morgo went pretty deep himself, so it's a lot of hard racing from these two. I don't know if we're going to have a position change here, but these two are going to fight to the end. Now, something's wrong with the timing because Angry is not a minute 28 behind. He's 19 seconds behind. So he's taken a second away off Morningstar Mike. But as for how long left in the race, I don't think he could catch up to Morningstar Mike. Unless Morningstar Mike makes a mistake, he's going to be our first race winner. Now we'll see if we see anything happen between the two Genasi teammates in BP and Mike, but as far as it's going, Mike and BP respectively looks to be finishing in P5, P6, unless Ty Morgo and Hawks have a little bit of a scuffle here. So Hawks definitely going to make a move down the inside, surely at the hairpin. Not done yet, but Ty Morgo has to have good situational awareness, and they both got the move done. Excellent work by both those guys. Ty Morgo trying to overtake on the outside of Hawks, and Hawks out a bit wide, and Ty Morgo will take that final podium position back. This battle is on. So, just to correct myself what I said earlier, with the way it's going, Mike could catch up to Hawks and Ty Morgo for the final podium position. Because we're seeing a couple of mistakes due to this battle. So that's racing. Can't be perfect, but we're going to try and keep it on the track. So is Hawks going to give another go? Hawks has had enough time to evaluate where Ty Morgo is weak and where his strengths are, so he's going to have to make that decision now. As a driver, I'll try to make that position on the last lap. Try to keep the driver ahead thinking. Just get into their head and they'll be able to falter on the last lap. Got to play mental mind tricks at the later stages, especially in longer races, because the drivers will be fatigued. Force feedback wheels, most of them. Definitely quite severe on the arms, especially if the force feedback is set pretty high. So at this stage, Morningstar Mike, excellent performance from him. Lost a position earlier on in the race to BP. Got pole, he almost lost it there, but looking to close it out in 3 minutes time. As well as Angry's got a 23-second advantage over Hawks, who has just overtaken Ty Morgo. And has Ty Morgo got anything left in the tank? We might see a bit of fuel saving as well, because the drivers will be trying to keep their fuel tanks to the bare minimum, because you want a lighter load. Because if you have a heavier load earlier on in the race, and if you're one of those guys that are on older tyres, that extra weight, even though it gives a bit more grip in the rear, it means that the rear grip later on will go away due to the tyre deg. So these guys would have done their numbers in the calculator in terms of fuel consumption. So as far as battle packs go, this is as close as we're going to get to one. Hawks and Ty Morgo. And we got Mike, BP, Carmichael, couple laps down, as well as Exo, who was a couple laps down, but only losing out 7 points to Morningstar Mike Exo. So it shows you how close the points will be heading into the final round. We're hoping to have multiple drivers in contention heading into that round. We're going to have to make an in-season change due to the number of absentees tonight. So I was thinking about taking out the worst feature race points. We'll have a vote on that, and next week I'll get back to everyone about that. We're not going to have the in-progress leaderboards up tonight. I'll get that ready come Tuesday night. And what happened there? Exo with a bit of a spin at the chicane. Mike clipped him. Or was it BP? It looks to have been BP who clipped Exo. Morningstar Mike, tremendous performance. Can't say it enough, really. Risen to the occasion when it counts. Season opener. Gives us a good indication of where the title may be going. But I've got to keep in mind, quick guys like BP, Mike, Angry Hawks, these guys are all quick, and those points, that point situation could change after the next round. So early stages of the championship, probably way too early talking about who will be champion, but it gives us quite a good form guide to which drivers will be punching their ticket for that championship. So we know Mike went down to the wire with Pointy last season. Unfortunately finished P2. Some would say it's the first of the losers, but podium position in the championship, very good accolade with such a competitive field. So Hawks look to be finishing in P3. This is not the checkered flag. So he's on his last lap. Ty Morgo drifted a tiny bit behind Hawks, so looks like the top four will definitely finish where they are now. Top five, yep, Mike, P5, P6, BP. Hasn't been lapped yet, I don't think. Yeah, he has just been lapped. So we had 5 non-lap cars, but BP unfortunate in the pit stops. He could have got at least a podium position, because Mike didn't pit in, neither did Angry and Hawks. So it seems as though the alternate strategy to not pit in was victorious today. So the drivers are going to have to reevaluate what happened tonight and make a decision next week on whether to put a pit stop in their schedule for the feature race next week. So as it stands, Morningstar Mike doing a burnout on the sand. Obviously has traction control on, but we know that's allowed because it's authenticated to the car. So then we got Angry and P2. Hawks in P3, so the top 3, as I mentioned before, didn't make a pit stop for tyre change. They survived. This is a very good effort from Hawk, starting from P7, moving up 4 places. Very good race from all tonight. Other than the technical difficulties we had earlier on in the night. Very good night for all the guys. So we'll go through the grid. Morningstar Mike first, Angry in second, Hawks in third, Ty Morgo in fourth, Mike in fifth, BP in sixth, Carmichael in seventh, and EXO in eighth. So BP does get the extra point because he recorded a 118 flat. So he will get an extra point to his name. I'm not going to save the replay because I haven't got enough space. But that was a good opening round tonight, although we expected a much healthier grid. Hopefully it happens next week.
Boys?
It was good racing.
Yeah, boys.
It's very good racing.
Well, BP was going to have me crucified, but
Hey Mike, did you run socks or hards for the whole race?
nah, hards on the whole race.
So hards
me
for the
too.
whole race on
Mine went
Mike.
off first.
Morningstar Mike.
With about 5 laps.
It's very good
I
insight
had to
here.
back it right off in the last 5.
Yeah, me too. I had to go, oh jeez.
So
Apologies.
just going to get my notes up and see
the
what
two
track.
drivers that ran into me.
Who was that?
I can't remember. It was two of them.
See
I
what we got next
the wrong
week.
setup and I was all loose in the arse end.
Obviously, I can't get that on screen,
I couldn't
but
do anything.
I'll notify.
BP.
Oh,
No,
no.
mate.
You didn't
I
hit
was
anyone?
fucked.
No, I didn't
that's
hit anyone, but just my steering was shocking because. Yeah, a lot of
Good
folks
win, Mike.
going
Well
to
done,
pit
mate.
lane
So in
because
the
I couldn't
meantime,
fucking
listen
stop
to
and it went
the
straight into
driver chat.
I hit it kind of side on and just damaged. It's like, well, I'm staying in here for a minute.
Yeah, seen that.
So Hawksy, pretty happy that you've joined the Ford GTE fucking show.
Yeah, might have to make it a stock
it was only
stock
about
Ford
Ty
series.
Morgo's
Yeah.
here. Ty Morgo's in the Ferrari, so he's okay.
He's a Huawei.
So
You
I
got
think
that in there, Ty?
Yeah, I had 20% damage on my
we
front
had
right
4 Fords in that one.
The wheel was probably
4 Fords, 1 Ferrari, 1 Aston,
10
and 2 Chevys.
I had to drive one out.
We're meant to have a Porsche on the grid as well.
Well, I
So
literally just installed the game before this lobby opened up, and my wheels are calibrated. So I turned the wheel 5% to the right. I'm doing almost hairpin corners. So that's why I was probably
Oh,
oversteering on you like a madman.
my details of this
Just
championship,
trying to control the
got
bloody
it
drift.
somewhere.
I thought, oh, you're going to have to go into pit soon, and then you didn't. Oh, fuck, I'll just get through it.
See? That's because we're both driving the Corvettes, and we had a really good race set up.
Very good race
Yes,
setup.
but I totally
Heard it there
partaked in.
first, Chevy drivers. Very good race setup. Well, Angry got P2 in the Chevy.
Good win there, Mike.
Awesome effort from him because he started in P6.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's fine. I just wish I could have
no.
had bloody bit more sensitivity in steering.
That's
great.
Right, next week, mate.
Yeah, I wanted to go another 10 minutes before I pitted, but I hit something.
Alright, so
Damage.
next week
Yeah,
will
probably
be
me, man.
at Imola, so it will help out the Chevy drivers a big deal.
Exo, what'd you do?
So
I'll
I'll
pick the
go
wrong fucking
through what the calendar
You had
looks
four
like.
shots at
Obviously
EXO.
next week at
Yeah,
Imola.
I know.
Alton Park
That's what I'm
International for round 3. Bathurst, the first of our endurance races, round 4.
saying. Oh, you can talk.
Red Bull Ring GP, round 5. Long Beach, round 6.
Shit.
And the last 2 races
I
are
might need
also
direction
endurance,
juice.
so
Fucking hell.
round 7 and 8 respectively, both endurances.
There's something
We've got
to say
Spa,
about
Next
the
week.
And then we got Le Mans. Le Mans, a very long track, we know.
I
So
did the same. I did the same thing.
makes sense to have an endurance race there.
I fucking
It's very hard to
started
set
the
up a
race
car
off and I
there,
looked
so
down and I had
down
11
to
litres of fuel.
the drivers to
Well,
figure
that's
that
not
equation
fucking
out.
last fucking 40 minutes.
So as for
Fucking
round
hell.
1,
I
it's
think the
concluded
14
right
took me
now.
through the 45 minutes.
So next week
Yeah, I
we'll
thought
see ourselves
45
at
laps.
Imola,
Yeah, I thought
hopefully a
45
much
laps.
healthier grid.
35.
Yeah.
I got
And
33.
I'll see you next Sunday, same time, 6:30 PM,
I forgot to,
Australian Central Daylight Time.
That's good.
Or
Good,
if you're
good,
from
good. I needed a
the
win.
eastern states and the
Otherwise
western
it's getting
states, 7 PM
Oh,
Australian
fucking hell.
Eastern Daylight Time. And it would
Jesus
be
Christ,
battling hard with
4 PM, I
BP up
think.
there. Christ almighty.
Australian
you
Western
were
Standard
switching
Time.
there
So
per second.
I've been
Yeah.
Madam on in, and
He
I
was
will
so
see you
quick on
next
that back
week.
straight.
Goodbye.